The Toyota RAV4 has been redesigned inside and out for a new generation, in time to fight it out with an ever-growing list of contenders in this crucial segment. And a crucial segment it is, as the RAV4 is no longer the niche offering that kicked off this nameplate in 1994. The model has eclipsed the Camry and Corolla when it comes to sales. The RAV4 has been a part of the American landscape for well over 20 years now, long enough for most buyers to start to take for granted what a revolutionary model the recreational active vehicle four-wheel drive was when it first debuted. The all-new model also seeks to return to its SUV roots, shifting away a bit from the car-like, crossover-style proportions of the outgoing model while increasing versatility, fuel efficiency, usability and, most importantly, driving dynamics. The RAV4 in Adventure trim I sampled days ago strongly suggests Toyota has hit all of these targets, while injecting a healthy dose of an SUV feel and experience back into its bestseller. When it comes to exterior design, the all-new model is now more of a pocket forerunner, rather than a very tall station wagon with car-like looks. Shorter overall but sporting a longer wheelbase along with greater ground clearance, the RAV4 boasts a lower center of gravity and structural rigidity that has been improved by 57%. The rugged appearance and wider stance reinforce this look, as do the black fender flares and off-road trim of the Adventure flavor. The thin, tense lines of the outgoing model have been replaced by a hexagonal grille that's wider at the bottom than at the top, mimicking the look of Toyota's pickup truck lineup, while the larger headlights sweep back from the sides of the grille, sitting above separate daytime running light housings. Out back, the D-pillar now curves inward toward the center of the vehicle rather than out toward the tail, giving the RAV4 a more classic, coiled look, along with a shorter and flatter roof. The tail lights have been reworked as well, adopting the rhomboid shapes and corners of the rest of the vehicle's surfaces, with the pronounced spoiler bill completing the sporty look. A thin black stripe bisects the upper portion of the D-pillar, lending the new RAV4 a trendy floating roof look that can be paired with a two-tone color scheme that offers a contrasting white roof. Under the hood is a 2.5-liter four-cylinder paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission, good for 203 HP and 184 lb-ft of torque. A hybrid version is on the menu as well, pairing the same 2.5-liter four-cylinder with an electronically controlled continuously variable transmission, or ECVT, and two electric motors, serving up a maximum of 219 HP when pressed into action. But a combined 39 mpg is perhaps the sweeter number to consider if opting for the hybrid, which is actually the performance model this time around. Based on the Toyota TNGA-K platform that currently underpins the Camry and Avalon, the RAV4 will be offered in a variety of trim levels in gas and hybrid form, with the Adventure trim spun off the well-equipped XLE and XLE Premium models. The Adventure trim offers all-wheel drive as standard, as you might expect, in addition to dynamic torque vectoring on this off-road oriented trim, offering several terrain modes including mud and sand and rock and dirt, as well as snow modes. The Adventure trim also serves up a unique grille design, special 19-inch wheels, roof rails and an optional two-tone color scheme, in addition to the larger black fenders. As with the rest of the gasoline range, which spans from the base LE model to the XLE, XLE Premium, again, Adventure can be paired with these two. To the range-topping limited trim, the RAV4 offers the Toyota Safety Sense 2.0 suite with a pre-collision warning system with pedestrian detection, road sign assist, lane tracing assist and lane departure alert, in addition to dynamic radar cruise control and automatic high beams. A 7-inch touchscreen display is standard on the gasoline models, while an 8-inch display is optional. Apple CarPlay with Waze is on the menu as well, in addition to Toyota and Alexa connectivity and services. The new RAV4 easily serves up the promised dynamics on the road, greeting us with a well-tuned steering and a nicely planted suspension feel, as well as easy-to-predict road manners. The new four-cylinder paired with the 8-speed transmission offers a quick enough takeoff as we climb in to go for a spin. And that initial takeoff comes with the 8-speed carefully rowing through the gears, not letting the engine rev itself into the red. Still, step firmly on the accelerator and the 4-cylinder roars into action, and plenty of roar makes its way into the cabin. The amount of engine noise is on the generous side, even if tire and wind noise are nicely kept in check. California's Pacific Coast Highway offers plenty of spectacular vistas, as well as occasional challenges, and that's where I take the new RAV4 for a shakedown cruise. Even though this isn't a demanding route, at least when other traffic is taken into consideration, I get a chance to push the new RAV4 a little past its comfort zone on the narrow, winding roads, with the suspension generally keeping things in check in the corners, with only modest body roll and not too much protest from the tires. Accelerating from 30 miles per hour to 60 miles per hour is easy enough, but not completely drama-free, as this is where the 4-cylinder likes to remind me that it's working hard even if the transmission stays predictably smooth. Toyota sorted this gearbox pretty well, even if a little more power would have permitted the RAV4 to dance in traffic with more confidence. When it comes to ergonomics and interior design, the new RAV4 represents a gradual improvement over the outgoing model that should please most drivers, provided you prefer the separate tabletop infotainment screen instead of one integrated into the dash. The dash itself is a little more symmetric and a little more practical this time around, featuring a couple of integrated parcel shelves trimmed with soft touch plastics in this adventure trim level. The design of the doors has been revised as well, and visually it's an improvement, offering a leaner and more rugged appearance. Perhaps the biggest improvement when it comes to the look of the interior is the absence of large plastic trim pieces on the door grips and dash that have a dull metallic look. If you've sampled the outgoing model, you'll remember them as aiming to give the interior a more upscale look but never quite achieving it. The interior of the new RAV4 oozes substance and weight, as the doors shut with a heavy and satisfying thunk. The center stack and the console have likewise been redesigned, featuring a shorter gear shifter and a number of buttons for driving modes. Thankfully, these have not been hidden in infotainment system submenus and are readily findable on the fly. The appearance and layout of the center stack is a small triumph of ergonomics and interior design, sporting easy-to-read buttons and dials, as well as a conductive charging pad for phones. A small pocket has been incorporated into the dash to the left side of the steering wheel for extra convenience, while the armrest and center console have been raised to elbow height, giving the front cabin a more substantial feel and appearance. Still, there are a few ergonomic head scratchers. The passenger seat, unavailable with power, does not adjust up or down, only back and forth, in addition to reclining. Cargo room has also shrunk a bit over the outgoing model, even though the floor itself is longer. Blame the shape of the D-pillar for that. And the RAV4's lane tracing system, a new addition that uses lane markers to monitor the vehicle's position and to add corrective inputs, is a little too much of a worrier. Lane departure alert chimes are a little too frequent on the winding mountain roads even when we weren't driving over the lane markings. Engine noise is still on the high side despite the absence of some obvious source like a CVT, even though the hybrid model has one of those. There are plenty of reasons why the RAV4 has edged out the Camry and Corolla when it comes to sales for the Japanese automaker in the US, and this new generation promises to win over even more fans of pocket SUVs and crossovers. The redesign has abandoned the slabby, people-hauler look of the outgoing model for rugged versatility and convenience, trading slightly naff dynamics for a more planted driving feel and genuine off-road skills. Not all of the competition is going in this direction, and I suspect this is where the RAV4 will score points against its ever-growing gang of frenemies.